Greetings, MGMT 300 Principles of Management students. This is Dr. Jaros again, this time with a brief introduction to assignment number 2. Assignment number 2 pertains to the issue of corporate social responsibility. Notice that assignment number 2 comes from Chapter 3. Chapter 3 actually has 2 topics associated with it. One is corporate social responsibility. The other is global management. For right now, you can ignore the part of the chapter that pertains to global management because this assignment is purely about corporate social responsibility. That's why you are asked to only read pages 74 to 81 in the chapter, and then also read what is called the flagrant foul case, which is located on page 87 in the chapter. We will cover the topic of global management later in the semester, but for now, just for this assignment, just focus on corporate social responsibility and ethics. So, what do we mean by corporate social responsibility? Corporate social responsibility is the notion that business firms have an obligation to society that goes beyond merely earning profits. We know that all organizations, or at least all business firms, exist to earn profits, to make money. But the corporate social responsibility notion argues that these firms also have an obligation to the broader society, that they have an obligation to do things that make society and the countries that they operate and communities that they operate in better places. So in this portion of Chapter 3, you will learn about what corporate social responsibility is. What does the term mean? Okay, you're gonna want to make sure you can define the term corporate social responsibility. You also want to make sure that you can distinguish between 2 other terms that are closely related: social obligation and social responsiveness. These are different perspectives on the kinds of corporate social responsibility activities that firms should engage in. You also want to make sure that you can make an argument for whether firms should be socially responsible or not. What I mean by that is everyone agrees that business firms have an obligation to follow the law. No business firm can legitimately violate the law. But do firms have an obligation to go beyond merely complying with the law? Do they have an obligation to be more proactive in terms of making their societies better places? That's a discussion that occurs within the chapter. Last but not least, there is a discussion on the topic of ethics. This assignment is about business ethics as well. There are different perspectives that have been developed within the management field about the kinds of ethical behaviors that businesses should engage in. So when you're reading the chapter and completing this assignment, you want to make sure that you understand what these different ethical perspectives on business conduct are and that you can describe and apply them. Last but not least, we have a case called flagrant foul. This is about NCAA violations within a particular university's basketball program, actually several basketball programs. And so the purpose of this case is to kind of help you apply, some of the principles that you've read about in a real world scenario, because this is not a hypothetical case. This is an NCAA and also law enforcement investigation into basketball programs that is ongoing. So read the case and answer the case questions as well. If you have any questions about this assignment, you know how to contact me by email or Moodle messaging.